Please send him a loud salawat.
صلوا على محمد وآل محمد. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. يا أيها الرسول بلغ ما أنزل إليك من ربك بلغ ما أنزل إليك من ربك وإن لم تفعل فما بلغت رسالته والله يعصمك من الناس إن الله لا يهدي القوم الكافرين. قل يا أهل الكتاب لستم على شيء حتى تقيموا التوراة والإنجيل التوراة والإنجيل وما أنزل إليكم من ربكم وليزيدن كثيرا منهم ما أنزل إليك من ربك طغيانا وكفرا فلا تأس على القوم الكافرين. إن الذين آمنوا والذين هادوا والصابئون والنصارى من آمن بالله واليوم الآخر من آمن بالله واليوم الآخر وعمل صالحا فلا خوف عليهم من آمن بالله واليوم الآخر وعمل صالحا فلا خوف صدق الله العلي العظيم. اللهم صل وسلم وزد وبارك على رسول الله وآله الأطهار. صلوات.
Salawat ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad. Before we begin, I would like to take a moment to thank tonight's sponsors, Sayyid Muhammad Ghanezad and Sister Sayyida, for their generous contributions. And for those of you who are reciting tonight, tonight's program is going to be in a slightly different format than usual. Inshallah, we're going to have some recitations, and then we will also have a Kahoot as well, and then more recitations after that. So if you didn't recite in the first batch, don't worry. You're still going to come up, inshallah, before the speech. And with that, I would like to invite Sayyid Ali Raza and his friends for their presentation. Please welcome them with a loud salawat.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Ready? Let's start. Let's go.
بنت اسد نے یہی اپنے پسر سے اسد ہے تیرا نانا توہی شیر ہے رب کا جو میدان میں بولا ہو مسجد میں سنایا کیا حافظ تو ہے رب کا توہی شیر ہے رب کا خدا کا یہ ارادہ توہی سایہ کے سایہ توہی سب سے ہے اعلیٰ توہی شیر ہے رب کا علی ہے رہبر علی ہے برتر علی ہے لپار علی ہے رہبر علی ہے برتر علی ہے لپار علی یا حیدر علی یا حیدر علی یا حیدر علی یا حیدر حبیبی ما سواه جنوني في هواه من الضر الإله له أبدا براني علي نور دربي تجلى فيه ربي له سلمت قلبي ومن قبل جناني به قدمت عشقا وخير لي وأبقى صراط الله حقا هو السبع المثاني حبيبي حيدر طبيبي حيدر مجيبي حيدر حبيبي حيدر طبيبي حيدر مجيبي حيدر علي يا حيدر علي يا حيدر علي يا حيدر علي يا حيدر شهنشاه کریمم صراط مستقیمم خدا میدونه تنها امیر المؤمنین توی روز قیامت میاد برا شفاعت کلید جنتم با امیر المؤمنین من از اهل نجاتم گذشتن از صراطم فقط با گفتن یا امیر المؤمنین کلامم حیدر مرامم حیدر امامم حیدر کلامم حیدر مرامم حیدر امامم حیدر علی یا حیدر علی یا حیدر علی یا حیدر علی یا حیدر He who is eloquent speak, only his mercy we seek. With him stand all truthful, commander of the faithful. Khaybar door with just one hand, Against hate and understand, for his strength we all call, Commander of the faithful. And just by calling his name, we can all seal our fate. Heaven's door, he's the gate, Commander of the faithful. My Islam, Haydar, my Imam, Haydar, all I am, Haydar. My Islam, Haydar, my Imam, Haydar, all I am, Haydar. Ali ya Haydar, Ali ya Haydar, Ali ya Haydar, Ali ya Haydar. عجب شور و صفایی، عجب حال و هوایی، توی صحن و سرای امیر المؤمنین. ابهت عجیبی، یه احساس غریبی، با ایوون طلای امیر المؤمنین. نجف شده بهشتم، رو سینه هم نوشتم که جون من فدای امیر المؤمنین. شبیه قنبر میخونم، یک سر امامم حیدر. شبیه قنبر میخونم، یک سر امامم حیدر. علی یا حیدر، علی یا حیدر. وعد الله حکیم، صراط مستقیم، له خلق عظیم، لسانی عنه عاجز، به ذو العرش أوصى. عجيب كيف يعصى، علي ليس تحصى، له كم من معاجز، به حققت ظني، فما للناس مني. أجب يا قلب إني قد والله فائز. حياتي حيدر، مماتي حيدر، نجاتي حيدر. حياتي حيدر، مماتي حيدر، نجاتي حيدر. علي يا حيدر، علي يا حيدر، علي يا حيدر، علي يا حيدر. هو ذات سلاسل یا هو کوهی بمشکل، هو وجود که مسار میرا مولا علی ہے. هو خندق و خیبر یا هو مسجد و منبر، لگے نعرے حیدر میرا مولا علی ہے. یہی آب دل کے نظر علی بے بولے، کیا ہو سارے منکر میرا مولا علی ہے. خدا کا لشکر نبی کا دل بر یہی ہے محور. خدا کا لشکر نبی کا دل بر یہی ہے محور. علی یا حیدر، علی یا حیدر، علی یا حیدر، علی یا حیدر. صلوات.
Thank you all. And Muhammad Ibrahim, please welcome Muhammad Ibrahim with a loud salawat.
Salawat. Salawat. Oh, you tears on my cheeks, out of love you may fall and tell stories about a man that is the greatest of them all. Let all the hearts be for this day. Let us celebrate. Shia proudly we be. Let Haydar be our faith. Let Haydar be our faith. Let Haydar be our faith. Nara-e Haydari, labbaika ya Ali. Nara-e Haydari, labbaika ya Ali. Haydar be our faith. Let Haydar be our faith. Let Haydar be our faith. You will hear a voice from afar, a call that was sent to the stars. No man was created like Ali. No sword was made like Zulfiqar. Nara Haydari, labbaik ya Ali. Nara Haydari, labbaik ya Ali. Let Haydar be our faith. Let Haydar be our faith. Let Haydar be our faith. Let the mountains of Uhud speak with the voice of Musa's flame. Ali was strong and they were weak. There is no need to mention their names. Nara Haydari, labbaik ya Ali. Nara Haydari, labbaik ya Ali. Let Haydar be our faith. Let Haydar be our faith. Let Haydar be our faith. Like Sulayman, he had a kingdom, origin of where knowledge came from. In the night, he would feed the poor. Out of him emanated such nur. Nara Haydari, labbaik ya Ali. Nara Haydari, labbaik ya Ali. Let Haydar be our faith. Let Haydar be our faith. Let Haydar be our faith. We will wait to receive your call to Najaf, where your shrine stands tall. We crave to be with you, O Ali. Toward you we would love to crawl. Now shout out with me, as loud as it can be. Nara Haydari, labbaik ya Ali. Nara Haydari, labbaik ya Ali. Let Haydar be our faith. Let Haydar be our faith. Let Haydar be our faith. Salawat.
Thank you, Muhammad and Ali, for your beautiful recitation. And alhamdulillah, it looks like the hall is starting to fill up. It means we have a good turnout, but we're starting to run out of space. So if everybody could, both brothers and sisters, with a loud salawat, get up and move forward a few steps to make room for everyone else who is joining us. Salawat ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad. Great. And with that, I would like to invite Brother Haji Hatoi for his presentation, inshallah. Please welcome him with a loud salawat.
Please send a loud salawat till I find this pledge. So my phone is about to die, so I'll do my best to consume less energy. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم يا رحمن يا رحيم ای جان جهان جهان جان ندرکنی قیوم زمین و آسمان ندرکنی احیاگر صدم مسیحا الغوث یا حضرت صاحب الزمان ادرکنی یا ابن حسن یا ابن حسن يا ابن حسن يا ابن حسن شکر خدا که شامل این دستگیریم از بند غم رها شده ام با اسیریم این از شور کودکی و عشق پیریم بر سینه ام نوشته شده من قدیریم ما را خدا اسیر نجف آفریده است قربانی امیر نجف آفریده است دست خداست دست علی فوق دست ها آقای ماست مرشد یکتا پرست ها حیرانی است در طلبش این نشست ها انگور چیده اند از این شاخ مست ها بوسیدن ذریح علی مستی آور است با کعب شأن مدفن حیدر برابر است گفتیم یا علی دعا مستجاب شد غوره به جذبه ز نگاهش شراب شد هر کس مقابل قدم او تراب شد عزت گرفت جلوه نمود آفتاب شد بر وصله های کفش علی بوسه واجب است باید شو خاک بر کف نعلین او نشست مرد خدا نمود علی جبرئیل را بیرون کشید از دل آتش خلیل را او کرده مهر فاطمه اش سلسبیل را پس میزند ز سفره مردم عقیل را او نوح را ز ورطه طوفان نجات داد. او دست خضر کاسه آب حیات داد. ایوب را عنایت حیدر صبور کرد. موسی ز نیل با مدد او عبور کرد. سجده اگر کلیم به انوار طور کرد. گفتند مرتضی علی آنجا ظهور کرد. خورشید و ماه دانه تسبیح حیدر است. هر کس محب اوست ضمیرش مطهر است. فزه اگر بزرگ کنیزان مادر است. پس کار نوکران همگی دست قنبر است. فتاح جنگ حضرت مرحب شکار علی. کوه بقار راکب دلدل سوار علی. جنگ احد میانه آن گیر و دار علی. هدیه برایش آمده یک ذوالفقار علی. یا علی یا علی مالک ملک دلی. نام زیبای تو شد رافع هر مشکلی. Easy enough to repeat with me. یا علی یا علی مالک ملک دلی. نام زیبای تو شد رافع هر مشکلی. یا علی یا مولا ای نگار زهرا. یا علی یا مولا ای نگار زهرا. یا حیدر یا حیدر یا مرتضی. یا حیدر یا حیدر ای به گل رنگ و بو و از تو بلبل نغمه گو. ساقیا یک دم بیا همراه مستان بگو. یا علی یا مولا ای نگار زهرا. یا علی یا مولا ای نگار زهرا. یا حیدر یا حیدر یا مرتضی. یا حیدر یا علی یا علی دست ما دامان تو. دست ما دامان تو. دست ما دامان تو. یا علی یا علی دست ما دامان تو. دست ما دامان تو. دست ما ای صفا ای کرم چشم ما احسان تو. چشم ما احسان تو. چشم ما احسان تو. یا علی یا مولا ای نگار زهرا. یا علی یا مولا ای نگار زهرا. یا حیدر یا حیدر یا مرتضی. یا حیدر یا حیدر مالک ملک دلی نام زیبای تو شد رافع هر مشکلی یا علی یا علی مالک ملک دلی نام زیبای تو شد رافع هر مشکلی یا علی یا مولا ای نگار زهرا یا علی یا مولا ای نگار زهرا یا حیدر یا حیدر یا مرتضی یا حیدر یا حیدر یا مرتضی صلوات
Salawat ala Muhammad, Ali Muhammad. Thank you, Brother Ali, for that beautiful recitation. And so I made a mistake earlier when I mentioned our sponsors. This was actually a multi-family effort. So I would like to thank, in addition to the Ghanezad family, which I mentioned earlier, the Peyrovi families, the Atai family, the Sizai family, the Tawfiq family, the Haj Abbasi family, and the Shakulai families as well. Please send a loud salawat for all of them. And please join me in a Fatiha for them and all of their relatives who have passed away. All right, and with that, I would like to invite Sister Sarah Razavi with a loud salawat. Would you like? Okay. Should I do a stand over? Yeah, I can do that.
صلوات على محمد وآل محمد. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي. الحمد لله الذي جعلنا من المتمسكين بولاية أمير المؤمنين عليه السلام. Salamu alaikum, dear brothers, sisters, respected scholars, and first and foremost, before I begin, I would like to send my deepest congratulations to each and every one of you for the auspicious occasion of Eid al-Ghadir, the day that Prophet Muhammad announced that Amir al-Mu'mineen was the wali of the Prophet. So please, for the love of the both of them, recite another loud salawat. Inshallah, I'll be reciting a couple of poems, so please bear with me, inshallah. I hope that you guys find each and every one of them connected to you in some level. For my first one, of course, it refers back to the name of Amir al-Mu'mineen. We often recite Ali, Ali, Ali many times, but sometimes we often forget the profound meaning behind these simple words. And for that reason, I remember a time when his name was just another name. I remember a time when his name was just another name that rolled off my tongue without much thought, a name that I played around with carelessly. Now when I look at his name and each letter, senses converge. Things I see are now things that I hear and touch. Now I find his name echoed in between each word in my prayer, whispered in each secret language I share with my Creator. Now I I find his name somehow sacred to my lips, like some holy text that requires me to do wudu before I dare speak it. Now, when I look at his name, I think of each letter as a poem, each line a story, each syllable a meaning. Ain, Lam, Ya, Ali. Like Alif, Lam, Mim, and Yasin, in each letter a mystery, a poem that can't be explained. Scholars and mystics, Sufis and Sunnis, Shi'as and the needy, still unable to explain Ali, whose name sits like nectar on one's tongue, whose name is engraved in the heavens above, whose name splits heaven and hell, whose name cradles the Kaaba that cradled him, whose name brought relief to Muhammad in every hardship. Whose name was taught to Adam as his first word, whose name was called out by Ibrahim when into the fire he was thrown, whose name when met with Goliath David called, whose name when in the whale Yunus called, whose name Jesus called when reviving the dead, whose name gave Yusuf hope when he was locked in jail, whose name Moses called when splitting the sea, whose name Maryam called out next to the date tree, whose name Muhammad called out on the day of Ghadir. So when we say his name, don't let it roll around carelessly as if it meant nothing. So when we say his name, don't let it roll around carelessly as if it meant nothing. Mean it with all of your heart. Let it stay. Let it consume your very being. Let it baptize and cleanse every impurity. So in every moment of our life, when we say his name, we will shout his name so loud that it will rumble the earth, shake and quiver every universe. When we say his name, let it scrape across your tongues. Let it hang in your hearts like fire, and let it leave a spark in your teeth. Feel the sting, like it's something you don't ever want to forget. Salawat ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad. Amir al-Mu'mineen, of course, has many different qualities, but of course, for me personally, he is my first love. And for that reason, I hope that the next poem connects with many of you guys. I've told many stories, but there's one I've yet to tell. My first love story, my beginning and my end. You see, everyone falls in love at one point in their life, whether it be with their parents, child, friend, or lover. But it begins and it ends. My love story, unlike the rest, is infinite, not confined by the realms of time and space. It exceeds this universe's intricateness and warmer than a mother's embrace. My unexplainable story cannot be described in words except by this heart of mine, for it knows the tales of his love better than I do, for my heart is his shrine. So know that my love story has just begun, and it will never end. So sit down and listen as I narrate my never-ending tale. I met him before I knew myself. I met him before I knew myself, before I was born, before I was taught my name, I was taught his own in my mother's womb. I was instilled with the love of Ali in every flesh and bone, so that my heart would only beat for Ali, and my eyes would only see Ali, and that my ears only hear Ali, and my tongue would only speak of Ali, to be a true Shia of Ali in both the heavens and the earth. I met my love again after birth. Although I couldn't see him, I felt his presence, whether it be in the trees or in the water, for I am blindly in love, because all I see is Ali and nothing more. I've lost myself in him, even in his dirt, Ya Abu Turab, for he brings me warmth, a smile, a home, from a glance at his dome, for the reason for my creation is because of him. For the reason for my creation is because of him, and as he moves mountains and trembles seas, I felt myself quiver before his majesty, Ya Ali. For he is my salt water, making me more thirsty. So don't question my love, my Ali, for the love of Ali has created Maytham, Kumail, and Ammar, whom are this ummah's roses. For the love of Ali parted the Ka'ba's walls like how the sea parted for Moses. For the love of Ali is unconquerable, like how Ali broke the gates of Khaybar. For the love of Ali trembles the heavens and the earth like how it changes time. For a second in Ali's world is an eternity in all the universes combined. No wonder for everything we do, we say, Ya Ali. When waking up in the morning, we say, Ya Ali. Before any affliction, we say, Ya Ali. For the Prophet would too say, Ya Ali. And even today, the world is heard singing, Ya Ali. The angels have come from the heavens, Ya Ali. Islam has been completed, Ya Ali. Not by Muhammad, but by Ali this time. For the sight of his hand held up high exceeds all life combined. Fatima is smiling. Hassan is shining and Hussein is igniting, for my Ali has been chosen and will continue to be. For my first love is Muhammad's wali, Ya Ali. No wonder my first love is Ali, for I find God through him. For he was born in the best of places, on the best of days. For he was martyred in the best of months, on the best of nights, in the best of moments. So let everything be sacrificed for Ali. Let my body be suffered and let everything I own be taken away. But the one thing they can't. But the one thing they can't is my love to my Mawla, Ya Ali. My love story is infinite, and it will never end, not even after death. For my love story is present in every stage of my existence. I met my first love before birth, during life, and after death. And when I see him again, it will never be love at first glance, but love at first remembrance, for I have recognized him in a realm of only Ali's resemblance. No wonder death is not existent for the lovers of Ali, for death knew that Ali will always be with me. And even my grave, when asked the questions from Nakir and Munkar, the only answer is, I only know Ali. Proof that this creation's existence is Alawi. Proof that this world has also fallen in love with Ali. Ya Ali. أفلح من صلى على محمد وآل محمد.
Thank you, sister, for that beautiful recitation of poetry. And inshallah, now we will begin a Kahoot. So if everyone could get their phones ready, anyone who would like to participate, inshallah, this will be led by Sayyid Asr. Please welcome him with a loud salawat.
Assalamu alaikum. Inshallah, we'll begin our Kahoot. This is for ages 15 and below. The top 3 winners will get a prize. On the phone? So we will start signing up. You have to enter the game pin. While we're registering, can the brothers scoot up with a loud salawat?
There's overflow in the green room. And can you ask everyone to step away from the door?
Okay. And I was also told that there's overflow in the green hall. And if people can clear the door so newcomers can easily be able to fit in. Can you hear me in the back? Can you hear me in the back? Okay. Oh, here. You have to figure that out. You have to sign up. So maybe that's what I'm going to help. Yeah, you want me to help? Is it okay? Yeah. I'm standing in the way. Okay, can the brothers take one more step forward? Apologies. Once again, this is for ages 15 and below. Let's give it 30 more seconds and we'll start. Are you good? Okay. Okay, we can begin. Question the first. We're still getting some ads. Up. We can begin. Are we good? Anybody need time? Everybody good? Okay, let's begin. Can someone see what Musa's doing back there? Can you see? Well, can somebody see? Can you see what Musa's doing back there? Was it good? We're beginning. 3, 2, 1. You're faster if you read on your own, but I'll read it. On which date is Eid al-Ghadir celebrated? 18th of Dhul Hijjah, 1st of Ramadan, 12th of Rabi al-Awwal, 10th of Muharram. I hope nobody chooses D. Five seconds. Good job. Okay, next question. Oh wait, I guess we'll see the ranks, right? I don't know how this works. Excellent. Sahar R, Team Taha, Ali Ibrahim, currently top 3. Next. I'm gonna go fast now. Who did Prophet Muhammad appoint as a successor at Ghadir Khum? Abu Bakr, Umar, Uthman, or Imam Ali alayhi salam? All right. I think the two people who chose the red, we might need to go over our history a little bit. All right, good job. Same top 3, but the order changed. Question the third. In which year of the Islamic calendar did the event of Ghadir Khum take place? Ooh, it's getting hard. 1 after Hijrah, 10 Hijri, 15 Hijri, or 20 Hijri? So how many years after Hijrah did this occur? Ooh, good job. 10 years. Top 3. Ooh, Team Taha is on the top. What does the term Mawla mean in the context of Ghadir Khum? King, friend, leader, or guardian? Brother. Often the one that has multiple descriptors might give you a clue as to what the answer is. Good job. Team Taha up top. Ooh, Sahar R is up. What was the reaction of the companions present when Prophet Muhammad raised Imam Ali's hand at the Ghadir Khum? They pledged allegiance to Imam Ali. They questioned the Prophet's decision. They remained silent. They began to disperse. Good job. Ooh, it's getting close. It is getting close. It's a tight race. 6. In which hadith collection can the event of Ghadir Khum be found? Sahih Bukhari, Sahih Muslim, Muslim Ahmad ibn Hanbal, all of the above. Good job. Usually when it's all of the above, that's what I go for too. I get things wrong too, so. What phrase did Prophet Muhammad use to describe Imam Ali in his sermon at Ghadir Khum, indicating his position? The best among you, my brother and my heir, the most knowledgeable, the bravest of the brave. This is getting hard. My brother and my heir. Team Taha. Sounds like these are multiple people. If there's collaborating, then that's going to be canceled. Okay. Which is reported to have proclaimed, "Congratulations, O Ali, you have become my leader and leader of every believer." Abu Bakr, Umar ibn Khattab, Uthman ibn Affan, Talha ibn Ubaidillah. Ooh, the majority got it wrong. It was Umar ibn al-Khattab. Which prominent Sunni historian mentioned the event of Ghadir Khum in his works? Al-Bukhari, Ibn Hisham, Ibn Kathir, al-Tabari. It's getting hard. I'd probably get a lot of these wrong too, don't worry. Al-Bukhari, wait, no, the answer is al-Tabari. Woohoo. Only 5 people got that right. Abbas is at the top. I don't know about this. Little suspicious. Which words complete the statement by the Prophet, he, Ali, is the leader that God mentioned in the surah? Question. The surah Yasin, the enlightened in Yasin, the faithful in al-Asr, the just in Yasin, the guide in al-Furqan. He, Ali, is the leader that God mentioned in this surah. The answer is the just, Yasin. Abbas still at top. Impressive, Abbas. Which scholar is known for writing an entire book on the event of Ghadir Khum entitled al-Ghadir? Al-Mufid, Allama Amini, Sheikh Tusi, Al-Kulayni. Allama Amini, 15 got that right. That's impressive. Maybe Abbas should be teaching this. What phrase did Prophet Muhammad repeat to emphasize Imam Ali's authority at the Ghadir Khum? Ali is my cousin, Ali is the lion of God. For whomsoever I am his leader, Ali is his leader. Ali is the gate to my knowledge. And then Mawla is in parentheses for leader. For whomsoever I am his Mawla, Ali is his Mawla. Good job. Which historical document by Imam Ali alayhi salam references the event of Ghadir Khum to assert his rightful leadership? Letter to Malik al-Ashtar, sermon of Shiqshiqiyya, letter to Muawiyah, sermon at Siffin. Sermon of Shiqshiqiyya. According to the Prophet, what did God testify to in Surah Al-Insan regarding Imam Ali alayhi salam? Ali's guardianship, Ali entering paradise, Ali's faith, Ali's bravery. Ooh, Ali's guardianship. It's tough questions. Oh, MHG out of nowhere. Muhammad Hussein Ghaniyazad, I'm guessing. Maybe? What are the two treasures referred to in Hadith al-Thaqalain? The Quran and the Prophet's companions, the Prophet and Imam Ali, the Quran and the Prophet's household, the Prophet and the Quran. The Quran and the Prophet's household. Good job. Oh, and Abbas, back to the lead. He's a genius, mashallah. What does the term Ghadir literally mean in Arabic? Mountain, well, pond or pool, river. Pond or pool, 22 correct. Abbas at the top. Why did Prophet Muhammad choose Ghadir Khum as the location to deliver his sermon about Imam Ali? It was a central meeting point for returning pilgrims. It was near his birthplace. It was the location of an earlier battle. It was the site of a significant oasis. It was a central meeting point for returning pilgrims. Ooh, Philistine out of nowhere. At the end of the Ghadir sermon, what title did the Prophet ask the Muslims to greet Ali with? Waliullah, Wasiyu Rasulillah, Amir al-Mu'mineen, Khalifat Allah. That means guardian of Allah, successor of the Prophet, commander of the faithful, caliph of God. Amir al-Mu'mineen, 25. Who were the first to pledge allegiance to Imam Ali and al-Ghadir Khum? Umar ibn al-Khattab and Abu Bakr, Salman al-Farsi and Malik al-Ashtar, Umar ibn al-Khattab and Uthman and Abu Bakr. Ooh, this is tough. This is tough. Ooh, Umar ibn al-Khattab and Abu Bakr. Abbas still at top, MHG is number 2. Which verse in the Quran is believed to have been revealed after the declaration in Ghadir Khum? Surah Al-Ma'idah, verse 67, Surah Al-Baqarah, verse 286, Surah Al-Fil, verse 5, Surah Al-Nisa, verse 34. Surah Al-Ma'idah, verse 67. Good job. What was it? Oh, we're done. Number 3, Team Taha. Number 2, MHG. And number 1, last but not least, actually he's first. I wonder who it is. It's Abbas. Salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Please report for your prizes to be announced, the location. Oh, I was wrong. It was Qaravi, it was the G. It's a brother, it's that brother back there. Should they get prizes now or after the event? Now? Okay, so report in the back to get your actually, he's right by this brother right here, Brother Muhammad. Up, I take that back. The prizes are next to me. Are they the same prize? Okay. Abbas and Taha, Team Taha. Salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
Thank you all. I see that everyone has taken my request to move forward very seriously. And as Sayyid Hassan mentioned earlier, the Green Hall is also open. I was just there. There were a lot of seats put out, both on the brothers and sister sides. There's a TV, so you can still watch the program from there. And the best part is there is AC. I did not want to come back here, but here I am. So, excuse me? There is AC here, but there's too many people. For the record, the AC is on in this hall as well. We're not heating people up on purpose. There's also just a lot of people. All right, so with that, I would like to invite brothers Zain and Amin to recite a nasheed for us with a loud salawat.
أفلح من صلى على محمد وآل محمد.
Inshallah, the chorus for this nasheed will be Ali is an army all by himself. Ali as vital as Khadija as well. Inshallah, we'll begin with one more loud salawat. Ali
is an army all by himself. Ali as vital as Khadija as well. Ali is an army all by himself. Ali as vital as Khadija as well.
All together.
Ali is an army all by himself. Ali as vital as Khadija as well. I can't but wonder, how can they prefer someone else over Rasul's chosen Haydar?
Glory be to God for Ali and his sword. Yet Haydar the brave only sees himself as a slave, only sees himself as a slave. He is the envy of all those who see the enslaved and free, they all agree.
After the Nabi, there's only Ali, though their tongues won't say, their eyes convey.
He's the Wasi, he's the Wali, and Amirul Mu'mineen, Haydar.
He is the envy of all those who see the enslaved and free, they all agree.
After the Nabi, there's only Ali, though their tongues won't say, their eyes convey.
He's the Wasi, he's the Wali, and Amirul Mu'mineen, Haydar. Oh Lord, include us among his Shia,
so that on that day we get his Shafa.
Haydar ya Haydar, victor of Khaybar, the first of the 12, is an army all by himself, is an army all by himself. Ali is an army all by himself.
All together.
Ali as vital as Khadija's wealth. Ali is an army
him his wasi on the plains of al-Ghadir.
There were some jealous who thought, why not us, when his hand was raised and each time he was praised.
I praise the Nabi who did choose Ali, made him his wasi on the plains of al-Ghadir.
There were some jealous who thought, why not us, when his hand was raised and each time he was praised, and each time he was praised. From the jealous men are many who ran, they could only speak, but their faith was weak.
On the other hand, Abu Turab, my Mawla Ali, never had to flee.
لا فتى إلا علي لا سيف إلا ذو الفقار حيدر
Jealous men are many who ran, they could only speak, but their faith was weak.
Ya Ali. On the other hand, Abu Turab, my Mawla Ali, never had to flee.
لا فتى إلا علي لا سيف إلا ذو الفقار حيدر. Oh Lord, include us among his Shia,
so that on that day we get his shafa.
Haydar ya Haydar,
victor of Khaybar, the first of the 12, is an army all by himself, is an army all by himself. Ali is an army all by himself. Ali as vital as Khadija's well. Ali is an army all by himself. Ali as vital as Khadija's well. Let us thank Allah and Rasulullah who gave us Ali and made us men who are free.
From this man, Haydar, and the Prophet's daughter, a lineage sublime, Imam for all time.
Let us thank Allah and Rasulullah who gave us Ali and made us men who are free.
From this man, Haydar, and the Prophet's daughter, a lineage sublime, Imam for all time.
Imam for all time.
Al-Mujtaba followed his father, guiding the ummah of his grandfather.
Hussein al-Shaheed who had to bleed to grow the seed against all greed.
Then came the three of great degree, holding the key to Ilmun Nabi.
The guides, those that followed, they never bowed to tyranny and zalimin.
Askariyin and Kadimain and the Sultan of Khorasan
all paved the way for the great day, the promised son and his return. Abu Saleh, oh Lord, include us among his Shia,
so that on that day we get his shafa'.
Mahdi ya Mahdi, freer of the free, the 12th of the 12 is an army all by himself, is an army all by himself. Ali is an army all by himself. Ali as vital as Khadija's wealth. Ali is an army all by himself. Ali as vital as Khadija's wealth.
One more time.
Ali is an army all by himself. Ali as vital as Khadija's wealth. Ali is an army all by himself. Ali as vital as Khadija's wealth.
صلوا على محمد وآله.
Thank you, Zayn and Amin, for that beautiful recitation. And I would like to invite Brother Ali up to share a few words with us. Please welcome him with a loud salawat.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين ثم الصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين حبيب العالمين بالقاسم المصطفى محمد وعلى أهل بيت الأطهار الذين أذهب الله عنهم الرجس وطهرهم تطهيرا الحمد لله الذي هدانا لهذا وما كنا لنهتدي لولا أن هدانا الله أما بعد بخ لك يا أمير المؤمنين. The first of our salawat and honor of Rasulullah Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wa sallam. The second in honor of Amir al-Mu'mineen Ali ibn Abi Talib. With the third with your loudest of voice in honor of the Imam of our time, Imam Sahib al-Asr wal-Zaman. Respected scholars, elders, brothers and sisters, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Every year by year, we always hear about the event of Ghadir. We always hear about Amir al-Mu'mineen's role within it. As in, we always hear about the ayah in the Quran, in Surah Al-Ma'idah, where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bestows His favor upon this ummah by selecting Amir al-Mu'mineen as His Khalifa. But something that many times we look over, and many times we don't look into, is the fact that this is not the first time. As in, when Amir al-Mu'mineen was only 13 or 12 years old, he was already established as being the wali and the Khalifa of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala after the Prophet. When we hear about the story and when we hear about the situation where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala commands Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam to warn his nearest of kin, as in we've all heard of it, وَانْذَرْ عَشِيرَتَكَ الْأَقْرَبِينَ. But this is also not the only time. Also there's another time, and one of the most important times, where not only Amir al-Mu'mineen, but also Ahl al-Kisa, the five of them, is anointed by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And this situation is none other than Eid al-Mubahala, which we are also celebrating today. Eid al-Mubahala is one of the greatest Eids in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's eyes. Because similar to Eid al-Ghadir, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala calls Amir al-Mu'mineen the person after Rasulullah. Question, where is this mentioned? In the Quran, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, tells Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa alayhi to bring his woman, to bring his children, but also to bring his selves, to bring his infos, to bring the person that is the most close to himself, the person that is part and parcel of his mission. And he brings none other than Ali ibn Abi Talib, salawatullahi wa salamu alayhi. This Ali played an important role in Mubahala. As in, this displays one of the many times he was a person that was fundamental in the legal institution that Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa established. As in, we also hear about the other treaties Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa signed. And it was none other than Amir al-Mu'mineen that helped and was part and parcel with writing these. As in, for example, his treaty of Hudaybiyah. Amir al-Mu'mineen was the person that was doing the revisions and was doing the editings, and same here in Mubahala. He was part and parcel of the treaty of it. But his role within it does not end there. Amir al-Mu'mineen is stated to be Nafs al-Rasul. He's stated to be the person who is the closest to Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants to establish something there. He first wants to establish, don't come a year later saying we didn't know that this Ali was the wali after Rasulullah. Already a year before Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa established that this Amir al-Mu'mineen is the person who is the rightful Khalifa after Prophet Muhammad's passing. But this all raises the question, as in we see all these opportunities where Prophet Muhammad announced Amir al-Mu'mineen as Khalifa. We see all these times that Prophet Muhammad would establish this. But people ask, why didn't everyone take Amir al-Mu'mineen as his Khalifa? Why didn't everyone go with Amir al-Mu'mineen? When Amir al-Mu'mineen was faced with the trials and tribulations after Saqifa and those of the like. And the question is answered when we look at Islamic history itself. When we look within the history of Amir al-Mu'mineen and his discussions with other people and his companions, it's really beautiful when he mentioned what's going to happen to them. As in he tells Maytham al-Tammar how he's going to die. But also he tells other people what's going to happen after him. Many of us know that for over 50 years, Amir al-Mu'mineen was cursed on the pulpits for 50 years. Every Friday they would do cursing to Amir al-Mu'mineen. For the fact of the matter is that they wanted to erase his name from history. They wanted to erase his thought, and they wanted to erase his memory from the memories of his Shia and of his followers. But the fact of the matter is that this can never be done. And this is beautifully displayed in Muawiyah, of all people's interaction with Sa'ad ibn Abi Waqqas. This Sa'ad was one of the companions of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And when answering the question of Muawiyah, when he says, "Oh Sa'ad, why don't you curse Amir al-Mu'mineen?" It was mandatory for all of them to curse Ali ibn Abi Talib. And Sa'ad ibn Abi Waqqas mentions, and he says, Muawiyah, the son of Abu Sufyan, gives orders to Sa'ad and told him what prevents you that you refrain from cursing Abu Turab, which was one of the many nicknames given to Amir al-Mu'mineen. And he said, don't you remember when the Prophet said 3 things about the virtue of Ali? So I will never curse Ali. He establishes here part and parcel. People say, why do we curse some of the Sahaba? Here, this Sahaba displays that Amir al-Mu'mineen's wilayah is part and parcel with their beliefs. He says that one of the many things is his statement in Mubahala. Prophet Muhammad said that he is Nafs al-Rasul. He is created from the same light of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. And is mentioned to be the person that's created from the same nur. But that's not the only part. Also, when we look into other books of Ahlul Sunnah wal Jama'ah, like Sahih al-Tirmidhi, Volume 5, page 6999, it says that Abu Hurairah narrated. He was one of the people that was narrating a lot of the hadith for other schools of Islam. He says that the Prophet ﷺ looked towards Ali, Hassan, al-Hussein, Fatima, and said, I am in a state of war with those who fight you, in the state of peace with those who are peaceful to you. When we see all these battles, when we see all these civil wars that happen to Amir al-Mu'mineen, we always say that we are on the side of Amir al-Mu'mineen. But this is based on this hadith. It's not only within our books, it's also in the books of Ahlul Sunnah wal Jama'ah, where Amir al-Mu'mineen is established as one of the Ahlul Kisas, one of the people who Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is with peace at, whoever he is at peace at, and is fighting whoever is peace at, whoever is fighting him. And that's why in Ziyarat Ashura we say the same thing. We echo the same thing. That may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant mercy to those who are alongside you, Amir al-Mu'mineen and Ahlul Bayt. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala remove His mercy from those who opposed you. And this is part of our belief in la'an. As in, there was already establishment of la'an within the Ahlul Bayt narrations. They already said that la'an is part and parcel. So when we do la'an on certain people, don't question it. Because these people were the enemies of the Ahlul Bayt. And the Ahlul Bayt are on top of our heads indeed. And also on top of the heads of Ahlul Sunnah wal Jama'ah, although they may not see it. And although we see all these narrations, we saw these hadith, people ask, why don't they take them? Why don't they take them themselves? As in, it's right in front of their eyes. Why won't they implement it into their lives? And the fact that they won't implement it is due to the fact that we don't read. As in, I keep stressing this and I try to stress this as much as I can. reading is a very crucial part of our day-to-day lives, our fundamental part of our life that we must implement. As in Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, that you have to gain ilm from the cradle to the grave. You must be on a lifeless, and you have to be during your whole lifetime on an onslaught of gaining ilm and gaining knowledge. So indeed we must be ones who read our own books and then go read the books of the other people. We must be ones who look at the wilayah of Amir al-Mu'mineen and don't question it. When we see the wilayah of him and we see other people questioning it, saying, why is he so special? Why is he Amir al-Mu'mineen? As Muawiyah asked one of the people that was alongside Imam Ali alayhi salam, he questioned, he says, why do you call him Amir al-Mu'mineen? Why not me? And he says, because this Ali is the person who is bestowed the favor of being created from the same nur of Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. So understanding his position is a fundamental part in all of our denominations. Also Sunni and Shia, as in they believe that he's the fourth rightly guided Khalifa, and we believe that he's the first. So either way, any Muslim you talk to, it is part and parcel of their belief that they have to believe in Ali. And that is not for any random reason. It's because Rasulullah designated this Ali as his Khalifa after him, and also said that this Ali is the one who Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is in harmony with, whoever he is in harmony with, and is fighting the ones who is fighting Amir al-Mu'mineen. So we must ensure that we are ones who do not fight Amir al-Mu'mineen, and we must ensure that we are ones by not fighting Amir al-Mu'mineen. We also must implement his hadith as well as the hadith of the rest of the Ahlul Bayt. أقول قولي هذا أستغفر الله لي ولكم والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
Thank you, Brother Ali, for those enlightening words. And with that, I would like to invite Sayyid Ali Abbas for his recitations with a loud salawat.
مولا علی جان مولا علی جان امیر المؤمنین یا شاه مردان یا شاه مردان Ya Shahe Mardan, for haq and batil, you are the mizan, you are the mizan, Mawla Ali Jan. Ali, you are the one, no one could assail, the selfless warrior, history shall hail. Salawat. Got a cramp in my leg. Ali, you are the one, no one could assail, the selfless warrior, history shall hail. The one for who the Lord sent the Dhul-Fiqar, the one who Mustafa titled al-Qarrar, the one who Mustafa titled al-Qarrar, Mawla Ali Jan, Mawla Amir al-Mu'min. Shahe Mardan, Ya Shahe Mardan, Ya Shahe Mardan. For Haqq and Batil, you are the Mizan, you are the Mizan. Mawla Ali, your mother Fatima, she named you Haydar, and like a lion you won Khandaq Khaybar. Shabe Hijrat, we see you as Murtada. Ghadir khum, we hear man kunto Mawla. Ghadir khum, we hear man kunto Mawla. Mawla Ali Jan, Mawla Ali Jan, Amir al-Mu'minin, Ya Shahe Mardan. Everyone, Ya Shahe Mardan, Ya Shahe Mardan. For Haqq and Batil, you are the Mizan, you are the Mizan. Mawla, your patience, piety, moral excellence, your knowledge, empathy, peak of eloquence. If your example all Muslims could embrace, we would be paragons of justice and grace. We would be paragons of justice and grace. Mawla Ali Jan, Mawla Ali, Amir al-Mu'minin, Ya Shahe Mardan. Everyone, Ya Shahe Mardan, Ya Shahe Mardan. For Haqq and Batil, you are the Mizan, you are the Mawla Ali Jan. The world is still in awe from Badr Hunain, but your true miracles are Zainab Hussain. The world is still in awe from Badr Hunain, but your true miracles are Zainab Hussain. For 14 centuries, no one has surpassed the standards that they set for standing steadfast. The standards that they set for standing steadfast. Mawla Ali Jan, Mawla Ali Jan, Amir al-Mu'minin, Ya Shahe Mardan. Louder! Ya Shahe Mardan, Ya Shahe Mardan. For Haqq and Batil, you are the Mizan, you are the Mizan. Mawla Ali Jan, Narai Haydari.
Thank you, Sayyid, for that beautiful recitation. And inshallah, with that, I would like to invite our final reciter, Brother Hussein Akil, with a loud salawat.
Another loud salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. MashaAllah, tonight we have a beautiful crowd, a big crowd. Everyone's come out tonight. I've been blessed and honored to listen to the recitation and poetry of all the people that came before me. And inshallah, we'll begin this one with a loud salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. So I'm gonna need some help from you guys. You guys only have really two jobs. One is for you to say Ali, and then two is for you to clap. And then for anyone who's heard me recite this before, inshallah, you'll pick it up pretty easily. It's pretty easy for you to get, inshallah. So we're gonna do a test run. Is everyone ready? All right. Our guide is Ali, our path is Ali, Mawla Ali, Mawla Ali. Our guide is, our path is Mawla Ali, one more time. Our guide is, our path is Mawla Ali, Mawla Ali. On the love of your light, when I was raised, I was born in your name, I heard praise. On the love of your light, when I was raised, I was born in your name, I heard praise. In Ghadir, my heart for you was saved. In Ghadir, my heart for you was heard from my mother Ali and my father Mawla Ali, Mawla Ali. Our guide is, our path is Mawla Ali. One more time. Our guide is, our path is Mawla Ali, Mawla. أنا لا أبوح بسره وأنا المقاد لأمره. أنا لا أبوح بسره وأنا المقاد لأمره. أجد النوال ببحره، أجد النوال ببحره. أنا روحي علي ودليلي Mawla Ali, Mawla Ali. Our guide is, our path is Mawla Ali, Mawla Ali. Our guide is, our path is Mawla Ali. When I see your shrine, I know that I'm home. You're the King of Kings, Najaf's your throne. When I see your shrine, I know that I'm home. You're the King of Kings, Najaf's your throne. With you by my side, I'm never alone. With you by my side, I'm never alone. Walking Quran in my Avan, walking Quran in my Avan. Mawla Ali, Mawla Ali. Our guide is, our path is Mawla Ali, Mawla Ali. Our guide is, our path is Mawla Ali. مولاي وروحي ومهجتي لك كيف أواصف لوعتي. مولاي وروحي ومهجتي لك كيف أواصف لوعتي. أفهل رضيت بحسرتي، أفهل رضيت بحسرتي. حسراتي عبراتي Mawla Ali, Mawla Ali. Our guide is, our path is Mawla Ali, Mawla Ali. Our guide is, our path is Mawla. All our hearts your love struggle to contain, to describe your worth, words can't explain. All our hearts your love struggle to contain, to describe your worth, words can't explain. Mercy we seek, Ab al-Hassanain. Your mercy we seek, Ab al-Hassanain. Huwa al-Khaybar, only Haydar. Huwa al-Khaybar, only Haydar. Louder. Huwa al-Khaybar, only Haydar. Mawla Ali, Mawla Ali. Our guide is Ali, our path is Mawla Ali, Mawla Ali. Our guide is, our path is Mawla Ali, Mawla Ali. Mawla Ali. علي مولا علي صلوات على محمد وآل محمد اللهم صل على Inshallah, before I pass it to Sayyid Sulayman, I have one more thing I'd like to recite. This is in Arabic, and inshallah it'll be quick, a little 2-minute nasheed kind of dua. And this is in honor of Prophet Amir al-Mu'mineen and all of the rest of the Ahlul Bayt, including our awaited Imam, Imam Mahdi. Ajalallahu ta'ala wa sharif. We begin with a loud salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Allah. إلهي بحق الشفيع الأنام بحق النبي وآل النبي هداة الكرام بحق علي المقام بحق الكساء ومن بالكساء بحق البتولة خير النساء بحق النبي بحق الوصي بحق الزكي بأم الشهيد وأخت الشهيد بحق الشهيد المعفر في كربلاء إلهي بزين العباد وباقر علم التقى والرشاد بجعفر بموسى بمن في خراسان يهدي النفوس بباب المراد بحق الجواد وابن الجواد علي الحقائق للناس هادي وبالعسكري إمام الرضي الرفيع الإماد إلهي بحق الحبيب الذي لا نراه ولكن تقلقل فينا هواه يمر على حين كل حين فتشحق أرواحنا من شظاه بحق الدموع على وجنته بحق الدعاء على شفته بحق هموم الرسالات تبكي حزنا على كتفه بحق استبار حسام الفقار إلهي ودمع الإمام يسيل عليه إلهي أأني وثبت فؤادي على حب حيدر وفي يوم يضحى إمام مظفر افقذني إليه نصيرا وعبدا ودعني أموت هنالك هبا بقلب تربى وهاما وشبا بحب النبي وآل النبي وسحر النبي إمامي علي اللهم صل على
MashaAllah, thank you, Brother Hussein. And with that, I would like to invite Sayyid Sulayman for tonight's main English presentation. Please welcome him with a loud salawat.
صلوات على محمد وآل محمد. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين بارئ الخلائق أجمعين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين المبعوث رحمة للعالمين سيدنا وحبيب قلوبنا أبي القاسم محمد وعلى أهل بيته المنتجبين وصحبه المنتخبين. Dear brothers and sisters, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. It is a pleasure to see so many believers gathered here for a very important occasion and commemoration. Some faces that maybe we haven't seen for a while, and also to see the incredible talent, enthusiasm, confidence, knowledge, and eloquence that we have in our young men and women of the community for their increased tawfiq, increased ability to learn and to spread the message of Ahlul Bayt aloud. Salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Now, we have just a few minutes until it is time for adhan, and inshallah we will end our program on time. And in reality, the importance of our commemoration of Eid al-Ghadir and Eid al-Mubahala is not in a lecture or in a speech, but it is in a commitment. Because your knowledge of Islam and of the teachings of our Prophet and Ahlul Bayt is only as good as your commitment and your covenant to follow. In our culture and our society, sometimes we have a tendency to want to learn, and we might go for an opportunity to learn about facts or history, and then we take very good notes, and then we put those notes somewhere in a bookshelf. Maybe we remember, maybe we don't remember, but we forget that the pages of my notebook or what I type on my phone or on my laptop, that is not going to benefit from the knowledge that I gained. And even the data that I store in my mind is not going to benefit me until I put it into practice and I utilize it. So inshallah we will talk about the events and the importance in which our Prophet introduced Ahlul Bayt to us. But the takeaway message is not history, but rather it is inspiration and guidance. And in fact, this is one of the differences between the path and the teachings of Ahlul Bayt from the path and the teachings of the Khulafa or other schools of thought within Islam. Other than the school of Ahlul Bayt, there is a tendency to idealize the very early period of Islamic history. First and foremost, the period in which our Prophet Muhammad Mustafa sallallahu alayhi wa alihi was alive. And then after that, that first generation of companions is called al-Khilafatul Rashida, the period of the enlightened government, and then the generation of companions, and after that, the second and third generation, they are kind of lionized and idealized and romanticized as some kind of golden age of Islam. When in reality, there wasn't a golden age of Islam in the time of the Prophet and immediately after the time of the Prophet. The Prophet himself was that golden, enlightened, and illuminating role model for humanity. So he was golden, but that does not mean that the time in which he lived and the people that surrounded him were all turned into gold, or that they were without sin, or that they were all just or of upright character. In fact, all of the problems and all of the issues that the Muslim Ummah faced after the time of the Prophet and until the present time, they had their origination in the misunderstandings and in the deliberate deviation that was present in the time of the Prophet among some people who were his followers but did not understand his message, and other people who claimed to be his followers but were not truly his followers at all. And so as followers of Ahlul Bayt, we do not demonize nor do we idealize, but rather we look with fairness and with a very realistic view towards the time of the Prophet and the companions of the Prophet, and we measure those people and their actions and their words on the standard given to us by the Prophet and by the Quran. Some people have a misinterpretation that the followers of Ahlul Bayt do not respect the companions of the Prophet. But there is nobody who respects the companions of the Prophet more than those who understand what was their role and to put them in that proper role. Let's say, for example, that we need to elect a president of a country, any country, and we say, you know what? I really love my friend, and so I want to put them in that position. But they don't have the experience or the qualifications, and maybe they don't even have the personality. You're not honoring and respecting your friend, but rather you're going to put them in a position where they will be unsatisfied and they will make an enemy of everyone else who has to suffer under their authority in a position that they are not qualified. That is not friendship, that is animosity. So the followers of Ahlul Bayt, we recognize that the companions had an essential role in preserving and spreading the teachings of the Prophet, but they are measured by the standard given to us by Allah and the Prophet. Just as you respect them by honoring them, you respect them by not lowering them beneath the position that they deserve, nor raising them above the position that they deserve, but by understanding what was their role and understanding what they did well and what they were not able to do because they did not have the qualification or the experience to step in and be a complete and a perfect repository of the teachings of our Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. That is unique to the followers of Ahlul Bayt. But then, if we do not idealize the time of the Prophet and say this was a golden age of Islam, then what is our orientation and what is the proper Islamic perspective? The proper Islamic perspective is to understand that there was a movement that was begun by our Prophet in humanity, that was destined by Allah, that was promised by Allah to triumph and to culminate in the success of the message of the Prophet and the benefits that that message brings of guidance and of tranquility and of justice and of the liberation of the human soul from the tyranny of shaitan and materialism, this message, this movement was begun by the Prophet, but it was to continue until it reached its final culmination and its final triumph in every corner of the earth. And this requires a leadership and a guidance that is up to the task. وَالَّذِي أَرْسَلَ رَسُولَهُ بِالْهُدَى وَدِينِ الْحَقِّ لِيُظْهِرَهُ عَلَى الدِّينِ كُلِّهِ. The messenger was sent by Allah with guidance and with the true faith and the true religion and the true law. Why? Just so we can have a little bit of an improvement over the Roman Empire and the Persian Empire. They had their Caesars and they had Kisra, and we will have an Umayyad government and then an Abbasid government. Maybe a little bit less tyranny, sometimes actually maybe more. No. لِيُظْهِرَهُ عَلَى الدِّينِ كُلِّهِ. Our Prophet was sent so that this religion is not just a successor to the previous empires or a little bit less unjust than what came before, but rather so that it eliminates darkness and it eliminates injustice from the root. And that means from the heart. Salawat ala Muhammad wa ala. That is the message of Ghadir Khum and the message of Mubahala. That our Prophet did not leave this world without telling us how and who we are to look to in order to achieve guidance for that promise of Islam to be fulfilled. And this is why when you look at the tafsir of Ahlul Bayt, you find that the tafsir is not only going to talk about asbabun nuzul and the history of where a verse of Quran was revealed. This is a hadith of our sixth Imam, Imam Ja'far al-Sadiq alayhi salam. He says, لو كانت إذا نزلت آية على رجل ثم مات ذلك الرجل ماتت الآية مات القرآن والسنة ولكنه حي يجري في من بقي كما جرى في من مضى. Imam says that if it was the case that a verse was revealed about a certain person and then that person dies, that verse comes to an end. Then eventually all of the people in whose time and about whose lives the verses of Quran were revealed, they would die, the Quran would die, the Sunnah would die. وَلَكِنَّهُ حَيٌّ يَجْرِي فِي مَنْ بَقِي كَمَا جَرَى فِي مَنْ مَضَى. But the Quran is alive, and it applies to those who come later, just as it applies to those who came before. So if your focus in understanding the Quran is on when was it revealed and about who it was revealed, then you are limiting the Quran to history. But if you look at where the verses were revealed in order to understand who they apply to today, then the Quran will be alive. And that understanding of what the Quran appeals to and applies to in our time, that is what we get from the teaching of Muhammad wa ali Muhammad alayhimus salam. So don't ever say that when there is a verse of Quran that we should only think about this as being relevant to the time of the Prophet. There are certain people that are praised in the Quran, and there are certain people that are cursed in the Quran by Allah and by the angels and by the believers. That means that the praise and the curse, they came for certain people in history, but that path of guidance and misguidance continues. And we are to recognize who are the sources of guidance so that we can follow them, and who are the sources of misguidance, not just in the past, but in our time, so that we can disassociate from those who are misguided. And both of those are important, and both of those are continuing paths that are not limited to history, but that continue in our time and will continue until the end of time. So what was it that our Prophet proclaimed in Ghadir Khum? As you heard earlier, it wasn't a new message. From Yawm al-Dar, from Da'watul Ashira, right in the very beginning of the prophetic message, our Prophet introduced to people who was to be his heir and his successor. But at that time, the Prophet was still in the prime of his strength, at the very beginning of his message, and the one that was to be his heir was a very young man. And so many people, they weren't thinking, who is going to take over after the Prophet? Think about it, for example, if you start a new business, and in the beginning, you're not earning profit. You're actually pouring in your own savings in order to pay the rent and to buy your merchandise and inventory and to give that business its success. So at that time, your children are not saying, Father, who are you going to leave this business to? Actually, they might be saying, you keep it, we're going to do our own thing. But then if you give it some time, and now it isn't that you are putting in your own money, but you are earning good money from the business. Now maybe that same son or nephew or cousin or friend who wasn't interesting when you started 23 years ago is going to say, so what is my share? How can I take part? The message wasn't new, but the perspective of people was new. In the beginning, the Prophet was putting in his blood and his perspiration and his effort and all of the resources that Allah gave him. And Khadija salamullahi alayha had invested all of her wealth, and Imam Ali had invested all of his life. And so the Prophet had told the people that they were not thinking in those terms. In the time of Ghadir Khum, it was not a new message. The Prophet revisited that message that came in the beginning. And he reminded people and he proclaimed in front of the new Muslims who weren't there in Mecca 23 years ago, 20 years ago, I should say. And he said that, O believers, I have conveyed the message of Allah, but that message is to continue. So whoever I was the leader and the master of man kuntu mawla, fahada aliyun mawla, or fa'aliyun mawla. Now, Ya Ali, some people have a question. Why didn't the Prophet use a different word other than wali or mawla? Wali and mawla, they come from the same root and they have the same meaning. Why is it that the Prophet didn't say something more explicit? Sometimes those who are not followers of Ahlul Bayt, they ask that question, that if the Prophet wanted to appoint Imam Ali, then he could have said something more explicit. And sometimes the followers of Ahlul Bayt, they say that I understand through the context and through history, but I still have that question, why could it not be more explicit? But there are two answers that I would like to give. One is to show how it is clear and explicit, and one is to explain why when something is misunderstood, it is not the case that it is a lack of clarity from Allah, but rather it is the unwillingness or the inability for people to obey or to understand. So what is the key message of the Quran? Even before the Prophet And even before the details of Sharia, the foundation and the basis is Tawheed. There are not thousands of idols. Thunder is not created by one God and lightning by another God. There isn't one God of wisdom and one God of war, but there is one God who is the creator and is the sustainer and is the Lord of all that exists in heaven and earth. That is the basis of the Quran and the basis of the teaching, not just of our prophet, but of every prophet. And the Quran tells us, لَيْسَ كَمِثْلِهِ شَيْءٍ وَهُوَ السَّمِيعُ الْبَصِيرُ. Nothing can be compared to Allah. He is the one who hears all. He is the one who sees all. He has knowledge of all things. He has power over all things. وَلَمْ يَكُنْ لَهُ كُفُوًا أَحَدٌ. There is no one who is an equal to him. So this clear message of the Quran. Do you find ahadith and do you find schools of thought within Islam that have misunderstood Tawheed? And if you study Islamic theology, is there a discussion about the attributes of Allah? Is there a discussion about the justice of Allah? Are there different opinions about whether Allah has a hand and whether Allah has a foot? Unfortunately, are there some Muslims who believe that people will see Allah on the Day of Judgment with their own eyes, and that Allah will come down from the 7th heaven to the 4th heaven, and that He will come down on the Day of Judgment and put His foot into hellfire? Now, are you going to accuse Allah? Allah, you were not clear. Is the message of Tawheed unclear in the Quran? Or is there a deficiency in the understanding or the willingness of human beings to submit? Then after Tawheed, what is the second foundation of Islam? It is Nubuwwah. In kuntum tuhibbun Allah fattabi'uni. If you love Allah and if you recognize Allah, then you are to follow the Prophet. There is no ambiguity about the Prophet. مَا آتَاكُمُ الرَّسُولُ فَخُذُوهُ وَمَا نَهَاكُمْ عَنْهُ فَانْتَهُوا. Whatever the Prophet gives you, take it. Whatever the Prophet prohibits you from, leave it. وَمَا يَنْطِقُ عَنِ الْهَوَىٰ إِنْ هُوَ إِلَّا وَحْيٌ يُوحَىٰ. Whatever the Prophet says, it isn't his whim, it isn't his desire, but it is revelation that comes from Allah. And yet, in spite of this explicit message throughout the Quran, people will come just on the deathbed of the Prophet and say, Hasbuna kitabullah. The book of Allah is enough. And I won't say what they said after that, because it is difficult for us to quote and difficult for us to listen, although it is preserved in books of hadith and history, how the Prophet spoke about, how the people spoke about that same Prophet whom Allah says does not have any whim, but rather the command of Allah. So this is now the background. If people did not fully understand Tawheed properly, and they made up false ahadith and believed them about Tawheed, and if people say to the face of the Prophet on his deathbed that we don't want you to write down what you have to say, and we don't want to listen to it, the Quran is sufficient, then how are you going to expect the message that comes to build upon the foundation of Tawheed and Nubuwwah to be understood by the people? Of course, if they did not understand Tawheed and they did not understand Nubuwwah as they should, then they will not understand Imamat. Not because the words used by Allah or the Prophet are unclear, but rather because they are not willing to ponder, and more importantly, they are not willing to obey and to submit. Sallu ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. But the final point is to show that it was clear. So nobody should have that question. Because the word used for the authority of Imam Ali is wilaya. Wali comes from the root of wilaya, and Mawla comes from the root of wilaya. And the Quran explains to us what is wilaya. There are different types of wilaya. Al-mu'minuna wal-mu'minat ba'duhum awliya'u ba'd. All of us as believers, we are awliya of one another, in the plural. Why? Allah explains it. يَأْمُرُونَ بِالْمَعْرُوفِ وَيَنْهَوْنَ عَنِ الْمُنْكَرِ وَيُقِيمُونَ الصَّلَاةَ وَيُؤْتُونَ الزَّكَاةَ وَيُطِيعُونَ اللَّهَ وَرَسُولَهُ. We are guardians of one another because we encourage each other and command each other to do what is good, and we forbid each other from doing what is evil, and we come together and we establish prayer and we pay zakat and we obey God and the Prophet. So this is one type of wilaya which makes us awliya of each other in plural. But then there is another kind of wilaya which is in the singular, which is a unifying element. And this is إِنَّمَا وَلِيُّكُمُ اللَّهُ وَرَسُولُهُ وَالَّذِينَ آمَنُوا الَّذِينَ يُقِيمُونَ الصَّلَاةَ وَيُؤْتُونَ الزَّكَاةَ وَهُمْ رَاكِعُونَ. Here it is not awliya, although several categories are mentioned. Allah wa rasuluhu walladhina amanu. But the ayah doesn't say innama awliyaukum Allahu wa rasuluhu walladhina amanu. It says innama waliyukum Allahu wa rasuluhu walladhina amanu. There is a single wilaya. When you command what is good and forbid what is evil, and you establish prayer, and you pay zakat, you are still awliya, because each of us has one level of faith, one level of sincerity, one level of understanding. But then there is one type of wilaya which is unifying, and that wilaya is described in the Quran, in the section of Surah Al-Baqarah that many of us recite either as part of Ayatul Kursi or immediately after Ayatul Kursi. Allahu waliyul ladina amanu yukhrijuhum min adh-dhulumati ila an-nur. The wilaya of Allah is not just a wilaya of friendship or guardianship. The wilaya of Allah, when we say Allahu وَلِيُّ الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا يُخْرِجُهُمْ مِنَ الظُّلُمَاتِ إِلَى النُّورِ. He removes you from darkness into light. Or I should say from darknesses into light. وَالَّذِينَ كَفَرُوا أَوْلِيَاؤُهُمُ الطَّاغُوتُ يُخْرِجُونَهُم مِنَ النُّورِ إِلَى الظُّلُمَاتِ. And then if you do not accept the wilaya of Allah, which removes you from darknesses into light, then you are under the wilaya of Taghut and the wilaya of Shaitan and his supporters and his followers. So when the Quran says إِنَّمَا وَلِيُّكُمُ اللَّهُ وَرَسُولُهُ, then it is speaking of this singular wilaya, because it removes you from darkness into light. إِنَّمَا وَلِيُّكُمُ اللَّهُ. The first source of illumination is Allah. But then Allah doesn't come down to you and tell you this is how you pray, and this is how you fast, and this is what you must do, and this is what you must not do. The guidance comes from Allah. But إِنَّمَا وَلِيُّكُمُ اللَّهُ وَرَسُولُهُ. The Prophet is the one who teaches and implements the teaching of Allah on the face of the earth. And then the Prophet, he lived and he died. And he left this world. But the promise of the Quran was not fulfilled. And so the final stage is وَالَّذِينَ آمَنُوا. There are those who continue the teaching of the Prophet, and they are our Imams. That is the wilaya that we celebrate in Ghadir and on Mubahala. And because it is now time for prayer, I conclude with a dua that, O Allah, out of all of the blessings and gifts you have given us, the sweetest and the most beautiful and the greatest is this gift of the wilaya of our Prophet and our Imams. O Allah, keep us on this path of wilaya so that we come out of the darknesses of ignorance into the illumination of obedience. O Allah, we congratulate each other. We celebrate with our fellow mu'mineen and mu'minat. And we pray to you to keep our hearts on the path of guidance, and our families and our children until the day of judgment. Oh Allah, this world is filled with darkness, and right now our fellow human beings and our fellow Muslims, they are suffering war and so many forms of injustice. By the barakah of Muhammad wa ali Muhammad, and through Muhammad wa ali Muhammad, bring the Muslim ummah to a better place than the suffering we see around us today. And the final dua, oh Allah, hasten the appearance of our Imam so that he can fulfill the task given to him and grant us the company of Muhammad wa ali Muhammad for all eternity in the hereafter. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.